Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the G&A podcast. I am Mieruko's flimsy prayer beat, Drooby Doo.
And I am, for the second time this week, your deadbeat dad, Soberoni.
Oh my god. Yep, because nope, never mind. It's gonna be a darker joke than I intended. Welcome back to the G&A podcast. We talk about all things anime, the good, the bad, and the weeb. How you doing, Oni?
I am doing well. How are you doing, Drew?
I'm doing pretty good myself. As Oni may have suggested or implied, this is not our first take at all. This is some we'll say technical difficulties.
Yeah, my bad. That was on me. I'll take the L for that one.
But it's okay. It's about moving forward and all that good stuff. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with our news segment this week in anime. Starting off, according to Anime News Network, Fruits Basket Anime gets compilation film with prequel epilogue scenes in February. Essentially, the was supposed to be an anime, Kyoko to Katsuya no Monogatari, aka Kyoko and Katsuya story.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being a normal anime, it's going to be a movie.
A movie.
It's gonna be a movie, but then the main the main thing that's going to draw me along with most people, I'm assuming, is definitely like the epilogue scenes, which is going to show 5 new scenes depicting events from after the television's story, like
You know what?
series.
It kind of feels weird to me because doesn't that feel like an admission that they should have just done a story that takes place after Fruits Basket instead of a prequel? Because I feel like that's the hook, right? It's like, listen, we know you don't really give a shit about Toru's mom
Oh,
and the
wait.
father. Here's epilogue stuff.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, I will agree. Is that the main draw for me? Yes.
I feel like it's
Yes.
the main draw for a lot of people.
I would never be that presumptuous.
And the fact that they would have to include that scene in a prequel, it kind of implies they think that too. I don't know. Like, how does that work logistically? Why would you jump ahead to the epilogue?
Because we saw what happened. We have to see the story before, and then we get to see the story after. I think that's pretty poetic. I think it's pretty
I
poetic.
think it's a bit marketing, but maybe I'm just cynical and
yes, you're a hating asshole. Yes, I concur. Guys, watch it for whatever reason you want to watch it.
So if you love Toru's mom, I guess, and you really want to see her love story, then go for it.
Yes.
Oh well, I guess there is a good reason to watch it. Does this have Loli Toru in it?
So, fun thing that I need to point out, that I pointed out the last time we recorded this, was the fact that something I didn't know was that in 2019 and for like the 2019 adaptation, they got rid of the whole cast and had a total new cast for the and staff for the anime, which that's very unheard of. They usually don't. Most authors don't do a complete overhaul if it's getting a reboot. I think usually the draw is that, oh, this voice actor that did this voice that you love so much is coming back.
I feel like I read something recently where they brought back the actors. Like, didn't they do that with Evangelion? Like, it's the same voice actors for the rebuild movies.
I
think. And there was like another series that was really old and it's getting a remake, and they're like, we're bringing back the old actors.
I know, it's so funny. I'm like, yeah, they always do this, and I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, me either.
But they do.
They definitely do.
They definitely do.
Can't wait for that Haruhi remake.
Has Japan forgiven Aya Harano?
They better. I want my Haruhi remake.
All right, Oni, what do you have for us on your neck of the woods? In your neck of the
Um,
woods.
in my neck of the woods, there was recently a newly unveiled Cowboy Bebop trailer. This is in addition to the Lost session that they released earlier 2 weeks ago. This is more reflective of what the actual series is going to look like. So it was like actual footage from the live action film or live action series spliced in and all of that. If you haven't seen the trailer, you should definitely watch it because I think it's worth watching. It's actually a really good trailer, and it's raised my expectations or my optimism for the live action Cowboy Bebop. The music was there. The characters were, for the most part, they were pretty spot on. I really like Spike. The only one I wasn't sold on just yet is Faye. I'm gonna give her a chance. But yeah, no, the setting was great. The music was great. They did a lot of the sci-fi stuff well. So I'm actually cautiously optimistic with this adaptation.
Yeah, and like Oni, I'm actually pretty optimistic about the actor playing Faye. I've seen her in another series on Netflix. I think the series is called What If, and
Isn't that the Marvel?
that's what everyone says.
Bad
And to be
timing to
fair,
release the same series.
I mean, no, actually, What If came first. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Did it come? Did it come first? I feel like I've seen it before I started talking about What If. But either way, she does a pretty good job in that show, and you know, the woman she plays in that and Faye Valentine is like there's definitely some overlap. So I can definitely picture her doing what she needs to do. Also, fun fact before we move on, can I just say I'm loving the glow up from the boys from Harold and Kumar. Like John Cho is like John
Wait,
Cho
he was in Harold and
is
Kumar?
You didn't know that?
No, I thought he was just like,
That's Harold. That's John Cho.
what?
Yes.
I thought he was like a famous, just like actor or something. I'm like, oh, John.
I mean, he is.
All right,
Kind
but
of
you mean like I thought he was
is.
like a famous action actor or something?
No, that's John Cho.
Wow.
He's just older now. But yeah, so he's playing Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and Cal Penn. Literally yesterday, I found yesterday, like, just came out and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is the guy I've been dating for like a decade, and we're like engaged."
Mm.
So I'm just like, y'all have come a long way since Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Well,
So
Harold and
I'm
Kumar Go
happy
to
for
White
them.
Castle is definitely a cultural landmark in American cinema, so
Uh,
it makes sense that it launched their careers.
it did, and I really hate that you said that. And there may or may not be some merit to that statement because that movie is yeah. I'm pretty sure we watched it back now.
Yeah, we
It'd be
watched it
like,
like in high school, wasn't it? Well, yeah, I'm sure it doesn't hold up now. There's a lot of yikesy stuff in there, but
yeah.
But it was actually a pretty good movie.
It was a movie. It was a movie. All right. So, with that being said, now that we're done with the news, let's move on to our weekly reviews. Starting with Mushoku Tensei Part 2, Episode 5. Yeah, Episode 5.
In a way, I'm glad we're redoing this podcast because my opinion has kind of changed from the Forbidden Lost episode that we recorded of That'll Never Be Seen Again. This is my episode of the week, by the way, still. But I'm less, I feel like in the original recording I was too nice on Paul, but now that I think about it,
too nice,
like too understanding of Paul's side.
How are to understand? If anything, I feel like I was more understand. I feel like I was more understand. It's not that I was understanding. It was just I said I was empathetic, as in I know probably the hell he went through. But at the same time, it was still
he's a piece of shit.
Yes, no, still a terrible human being.
Yeah, so yeah, so the episode with Rudy fighting Paul and everything. Yeah, for me, like, I think it was a really interesting episode because it's like, again, like I said earlier, it shows that certain characters progress in really small but realistic ways, like Rudy and Eris especially.
Mm-hmm.
But also some characters regress in really small but important ways, like Paul, who's just become a shittier person because of what happened. But also, I feel like it kind of mirrors, like Paul and Rudy mirror each other in a certain way, where it's like Paul is like projecting all his failures and shit onto Rudy, like, "Oh my god, why didn't you protect the family? Like I was supposed to do." Blah, blah, blah. But I kind of feel like Rudy also has like his reason to be angry. Well, obviously, but
Yeah.
besides what happened in this episode, Rudy also has a reason to be angry because he's like, damn, like he had the assumption that Paul would be, man enough at least to protect his own family. So they both kind of failed in their duties, which I think is interesting.
Okay, so no. So I disagree with that because neither of them failed in their
Well,
duties.
failed in their
Like,
duty is probably, but they both expected the other to do more than what they did. Like Rudy expected his father to at least be able to protect his family, and his father expected Rudy to apparently be Superman and like solve the mana crisis and find everything.
Rudy expected his dad to not like look at him like some type of crazy like a failure
Yeah,
or
but
someone who was like
he was under the
gallivanting.
impression that his family was safe the whole time.
Yeah, but I don't think he blames his dad for it.
Well,
Which is
not
I don't
like
think I
I
don't
think
think
I think it's an implicit, like, just his mental thought process of being like, well, I just assumed that they were safe,
yeah, but that's not
which
on.
is implicit like trust in his father.
I don't know. I don't quite get that connect, especially if it's like a totally magical event that's literally out of everyone's control.
Well, all right, let's put
Like
it
no one
this
even
way:
knows
if
how that
you,
even happened.
yeah, no one knows how to happen and all that, but like the fact that it wasn't even a concern on Rudy's mind, like, oh shit, my family, I feel like it betrays a certain
Mhm.
implicit trust that, well, my family's taken care of because Paul is there and mom is there and whatever else is taken care
I
of.
mean, it was. I feel like it wasn't so much that it was just he thought they were safe because he didn't he didn't know how far the event happened. He just thought it was like that open field and that's it. He didn't at no point did he assume that it spanned even farther and took his whole family.
Fair enough. I just feel like there is implicit trust on both. Anyway, that was aside from my point. My point being, I get there and just I get where Paul is coming from and I get where Rudy's coming from, but Paul's still an asshole.
It's like I understand his logic and I just completely hate all of it because it's once again I think this is because they both have the I think they just because they're just both so similar. So I guess in a weird way, like they like Paul in some weird way like leaned on Rudy, which by the way, totally fucked up. You should like I don't know why you're like, haha, we can just kind of talk about things because my son is smart or whatever. Like he's smart and perverted like me, so we can talk about certain
They're like
things.
similar on the surface in that sense, where it's like they're both really strong or at least
Yeah.
competent fighters that are scummy. But I feel like
Yeah.
Rudy's way more, surprisingly enough, Rudy's way more composed and smart and mature than Paul is.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like one
Mm-hmm.
is learning how to do magic, and the other one, like, father two different children from two different women
Mm-hmm.
living in the same house. So
But I also feel like a lot of their argument with each other was very realistic in the sense that it was just them talking past each other and like projecting their own
yeah, their
emotions onto
own
the
freaking
other
out moments. They're
without.
like Rudy's also like like how was even though Rudy is way like everything Rudy said was valid compared to
Oh yeah,
Paul.
yeah. Paul was
Like
just off the
Rudy,
fucking charts.
yeah, yeah. yeah, he was so out of line. It was crazy. Rudy was like, "Oh my god, wait, I didn't even know everyone's gone. I just assumed it was me." But also, while it was a fun adventure, I also had to survive and almost being on the brink of death. And so that's why I'm saying their relationship to each other is so unhealthy, because it's like, I wish you would have seen whatchamacallit, this show, The Good Place. One of the main characters who his relationship is with his dad is eerily similar to Paul and Rudy, in the sense that they're so bro buddy that like only in the later seasons is it revealed that, like, oh yeah, that's my dad. And everyone's like, wait, what? So I'm getting those vibes just from this episode, because like this doesn't feel like a father-son conversation. This felt like two like-minded people on the same level, like just being angry at each other because shit happened, which is not the case at all. Because one's a grown man and the other person's like 12, 13.
Exactly.
And one 13-year-old with circumstances that over the past year and a half are wildly different from Paul's. So yeah, that's
I do hope we get Paul's, like, maybe that'll be next week's episode, where it's just like we see a recap of what happened to Paul for the past year and a half or whatever. I feel like that'd be interesting too. I hope he's not as scummy as I think he is. Like, I said it the last time we recorded, but if he really did fuck that other chick or whatever, or he's sleeping with her,
I wouldn't put it past.
I'm not gonna put it past him either. But that'd be like, that's irredeemably shit. Like, he's teetering on being irredeemable right now. But
I mean, because like, why not? It's like, I lost my wives. I lost my wives. I forgot.
You're already lowering the bar.
Right? I was like, I'm ready. In my mind, they're already sister wives, even though it's like only one wife. And like, he had sex with another woman while his wife was in the same house. Like, what is stopping him from, like, he's not knowing, they're not even remotely near where he is. So yeah, who are they gonna,
like, imagine they're like, oh, my wife and my children are missing. Time to get it.
Because he's gonna be like all distraught and like, I'm sad and I don't know.
I hope they don't do that. I really hope that. I don't think Mushoku Tensei will do that, because because he's not that complex. Like, they're not gonna make him sympathetic. If he does,
first of all, I thought you were gonna say complex. I'm like, that does not make a human.
No, not complex in the sense of, like, I mean that he's really basic. Like, he's a really basic bitch, and also
yes, but that's a very basic bitch thing to do.
Yeah, but the way you're making it sound would be like if they made him like sympathetic, like, oh, it was a moment of weakness for Paul. Like, no, I feel like Mushoku Tensei played straight.
That wouldn't make him sympathetic. That would just be like, when my wife and my mistress aren't here, and she's like, oh well, you're kind of hottish and I'm a young misguided girl, so let's fuck. Like, like that's all it needs to happen.
Probably. Also, yeah, no. Bless you. Paul getting upset because Rudy is pointing out the obvious is kind of like, really, bruh?
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? First off, how dare you come at Rudy with like, "Oh, I bet you were just fucking Ares," like throwing stones in this super glass house.
Yeah,
like,
that was
projection.
That was so out of line.
Yeah,
like, and of course, Rudy I was come back and like, you of all people, you of all people saying this.
And the way he actually got offended, like, what do you mean, me? Why would never, Rudy?
Man, yeah, I really felt. Excuse me. I'm so glad that Rudy, like, Rudy was isekai to this world, and is already a grown adult in his head. Because if this person would have to be a child,
that'd be super traumatic.
Right. Like,
I mean, it was traumatic as it was. I don't think
is that right? But I feel like Rudy has like the mental fortitude of a grown man. So it's like he could take it so much better. Like I feel like he was like fucked up, but he wasn't that fucked up. Like he's fucked up because Paul's stupid words like got to him and made him literally think that he should take any blame for this event that he's also a victim of, by the way.
Also, that whole thing with his little sister was probably traumatic too. Although, fuck that. Fuck everyone in that bar.
Besides his sister.
Because
he doesn't know.
Yeah, I forgive that. Also, his sister's like probably 4 or something, so I forgive her.
And shout out to his mistress, who was like, "Hey, maybe you should like not be a dick to your son."
Yeah, she was actually kind of cool too.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, and also Eris had a great moment. I just want to point that out. Eris's hug was fucking adorable.
Yeah, that was very cute, very healing. I loved how she was ready to like kill him.
Eris #1 waifu for sure. Sorry, Roxy.
That's girl. Indeed. Sorry, Roxy. Wherever you are, you can't get off watching or listening to Paul's parents have sex. I mean, Rudy's parents have sex.
Maybe in the future.
All right. Up next, we have excuse me. We have Komi-san wa Komyusho desu. Episode 4, which is my episode of the week.
And it is also my episode of the week because I'm a cheater. And I have 2.
Yeah. So usually I'm not a huge fan of yanderes. Like at all, but Yamai, yeah, she does it for me.
Yamai had so many like god tier fucking faces this episode where it was just like, oh my god, I want a gif of that face that she made where she's like her veins are popping out and like her eyes are bulging.
Her eyes are going different directions.
Yeah, she looked like she was just injected with like the super serum.
Yes, as I said in the live watch, it was like she was giving Saigo no Ku.
Yeah, like possessed by the spirit of G&AREVIEWS real quick.
Exactly. That.
Imagine a fucking Holy Grail war with the Komi characters.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt she'd win because she's so obvious. Obviously, the favorite to win.
She would just have a berserker and fucking kill. She will take out like 3 people with her or something.
At minimum. Yeah, no, she's basically like but without the powers, and I'm here with it.
Yeah, she has the power of being somehow even more disturbing than At least kept it under. At least was able to hide it in public. Yeah, I feel like Yamai.
At least I feel like having like a super, like having a superpower somehow made it like more believable. Like, oh, this is like a fantasy anime where she had like a phone that could tell the future, and that's what Yuki and all that.
Somehow this is less realistic.
And this is she's like, I just normally kidnapped the main character and normally stuffed him in the closet.
That was a really good scene. He was just like, my name is Tadano, and oh, I'm kidnapped.
Yeah.
I love her. I love Yamai. By the way, I know everyone's gonna hate on me or hate on her because people have bad taste if they don't like yanderes. But Yamai is probably my probably 3rd favorite next to Komi and Najimi. But she's really close to 2nd.
Yeah, I would say she's very. I don't know. I'm okay with yanderes as long as they make me laugh.
Yeah, like she's hilarious. I love her. Like I want to see more of her being a crazy bitch. Yeah, I love how entertaining she is.
Me too. I very much like it myself. Shout out to the new character, Yadano. She is the self-proclaimed rival of Komi. I don't think she knows that.
No, I think Komi just does her own thing, and this girl's just stalking her. So Komi has so many stalkers.
Right. She really does. Poor thing. She's just trying to live by not talking ever.
I'm still mad that they measure sitting height apparently in Japan. That doesn't make any sense to me. I still don't understand why you would want to know or care about someone's sitting height.
Yeah, that's a Sarua Choto for me. But go off King. Let's see. Oh yeah, I loved how as she was thinking out after she was comparing the notes, and she obviously quote unquote lost in every way. But then all of a sudden she just flipped all the requirements. She was like, oh no, they actually like shorter women in other countries. So I win. Like, or no, she was like, it's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just having this whole like minute long back and forth with herself. I'm just like, oh my God, this bitch is also crazy.
I would have I feel bad because in any other episode she would have been a standout, but because she had a shared episode with literally the craziest bitch of the year, and she just kind of flew into obscurity for me. It's like, here's this crazy woman, but now let's check out this fucking insane person.
Yeah, she's just like normal crazy. Like, she's normal crazy. She's not yandere.
Yeah. Yamai is advanced crazy. Like, she's crazy 101 and Yamai is crazy PhD.
Exactly. Yes, PhD crazy. But yeah, good, very, very good episode. I loved the 24 reference.
Oh yeah,
for the show. that was very funny. That made me laugh. Yeah, good episode.
I remain impressed with the comedy.
All right. Up next, we have Senpai ga Uzai Kohai no Hanashi.
Wait, we have one before that.
Do we? Because on my website, it doesn't say so.
You sure?
I am positive.
All right.
Well, I mean, we could do your what.
No, I'm curious where yours is placed. So let's do Uzai.
Yeah, I feel like I know what's supposed to be next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
watch us totally just skip past.
Right, you skipped the whole thing. Oh well, I guess that show never came. So thanks, y'all. Yeah, Senpai ga Uzai Kohai no Hanashi, episode 3. 4. Yep, I just wrote the number 3.
Yay.
So this is the one where they got sick, right?
Yeah, they both.
Oh, thank God! I was like, oh shit, it was episode 3.
Yeah, you forgot to watch it, Drew. Go watch.
So first of all, I like the opening. First of all, I know like the opening scene where they show Takeda being a boomer.
Oh yeah.
For once, we finally see a flaw in him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has a few flaws. I just think you find them more charming than you do flaws.
I mean, oh right, no, you're right. He does. These are the flaws. I mean, like some of his flaws in my mind make him more gay. So it's like take the bad with the good. I mean, the good with the bad. Oops, Freudian slip. But yeah, and not only do I like that they introduced like another quirk about Takeda, they also use that as a part of the story later on.
Oh yeah, episode. I like everything like kind of
ties in together.
Circles back on itself.
Yeah, so Futaba is actually starts out being sick. She's out with the cold. Now here's the thing that gags me. So she's like going out. She's like, oh, nothing in the house. I have to go out, buy something to eat, and come back. And I'm just here like, they don't got delivery service. All of a sudden,
y'all don't have Grubhub, DoorDash.
Like, I know I've seen deliveries like in shows all the time.
Yeah,
well, not
pizza
all the time,
place.
But a lot of times. Like, they exist. I know they.
I feel like that's such an unrealistic portrayal of it. Like, They're too
Yeah.
responsible. First off, I call delivery service when I'm perfectly healthy but just tired. There's no way if I'm sick, I'm like, wait, I gotta get up and go
and get
shopping
dressed.
and get dressed and go find food. Like, no, your ass is calling delivery.
Exactly. Period. So I was like, that's very. We're doing this for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
They should have had her call delivery, and it was really what's his name?
Takeda.
Takeda was a delivery person on the side. Yo.
Oh, that. See, I would like that more.
Let me write the episodes. Come on, I'll do one episode. I'll write the script.
Yes, because what happened instead is that he came in to check on her and said, "Hey, I bought you food." By the way, doing all that's already a lot to do for a coworker.
Yeah, I feel like I still think he's interested in her, but more as a daughter. So it's like, oh, my daughter is sick. I gotta go bring her. My work daughter is sick. I gotta go bring her food.
I thought it was very bold of her to be like, "Can you cook me dinner?" Mm-hmm. Listen. We literally would have to be fucking
for you to
at the same job
dinner.
for me to cook for you. We would have to be fucking, and that wouldn't happen because I don't sleep with my coworkers. So
I feel like that's the impression the rest of the company got when he came out and started blabbing like, "Oh yeah, I went to her house while she was sick and cooked her dinner."
Okay, because then, period. Period. Like, why are you cooking for your coworker? That's so inappropriate on like so many levels.
Workplace harassment.
Like, if anything, that was the one moment where I'm just like, oh, I guess he likes her. I guess. Because there ain't no way you would cook for anyone else. Like I just no.
You could just be a really nice guy.
Nope. I mean, it still would be amazing if they don't end up together and he's like, "You're my daughter for 12 episodes."
I'll be upset. Actually, I wouldn't be that upset. I'd still be upset about that.
I wouldn't be upset because I already like their dynamic.
Border zoned.
Not border zoned. So yeah. Also, I gagged when he was like looking at pictures and stuff, and she was like, "Don't look at that stuff." I'm like, "Bitch, I cooked for once again. I cooked for you. Me and your coworker bought food with my money."
It's like Drew's getting personally triggered. You're getting personally triggered by this episode. Yes,
because that's so wild. That's such a wild concept. Like, what? Like, you know how like my exes would have to beg me to cook them breakfast, let alone me buying stuff and cooking stuff for a coworker. Listen, and not only would we have to be having sex, but the dick would have to be phenomenal. Like it would have to like make me change who I want to be as a person altogether. Because clearly, your dick made you become the person that buys stuff for a coworker and cooks for them.
I want to say that you're like selfish or whatever, but I can't disagree with that because I would definitely would not cook for fucking anybody.
Exactly.
I don't cook for myself.
Like, and no, because it's okay. So I'm not the best cook to begin with, and I don't enjoy I'm not a huge fan of the process of cooking. Well, it's cooking. Like cooking's cooking. ... It's just I'm a slow person. Like to do a task, it takes me a long time to do things, including cooking. So like when I start cooking, it's kind of like a couple of hours out of my day kind of thing, which makes me not want to do it. Because then after I'm done doing like cooking, I'm kind of tired, and now here's all this mess that I got to clean up after. I am buying groceries, cooking, feeding you, and cleaning up after you. Like, the only person I'm doing that for is my man. Or someone that gave me, like, literally dropped off dick that literally, apparently, also doubled as brain surgery. Because it just shifted my frontal lobe altogether and made me this completely different person who likes cooking and cleaning for my coworkers.
But listen, he got the favor returned to him, so it all worked out in the end, all right?
He did. I mean, of course she did it back because she likes him. But man, that's wild. Like, I'm sorry. Like when I saw this episode, I was stuck. I was like, oh, they're really doing this.
I wonder if the
I don't
boss is
really
just
get
gonna
this.
comment because also Toko and or Sakurai and Kazuma are also doing openly flirting with each other in the office. So I feel like the boss that's so important is like, why are all my coworkers just fucking with each other? Are all my
The way
coworkers
as the
sleeping with
boss,
each other?
the way as the boss, I'd be like, as long as y'all get y'all shit done, I don't care what y'all do. Oop, not my problem.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so also Sakurai's teasing Futaba is really cute.
Yeah, it was. I like their dynamic. Actually, one thing I do
Yeah.
wish that the show did more of is kind of show how they like the girls and guys interact with each other as opposed to just keep doing the relationship thing. Like I want to
Mhm.
see Takeda hang out more with Kazuma and them, and I want to see Futaba hang out more with Sakurai and the rest of the girls. I feel like they
Yeah.
would have good like chemistry, just like teasing each other and shit.
Also, another thing about Futaba, I would say Futaba was very like she was wild this episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
Futaba was wild. Condition to all of this happening, toward the end when he was like said something so nice as you're gonna make a great wife. She karate chops him in the back, or was it something else?
No, she did that when he was. Well, are you talking about when she was feeling up his beard and then she like
Oh yes.
fucking?
Oh
I don't know what
yeah.
she did actually. She
He
like
no
punched him in the
no.
chest.
She was rubbing the beard,
Mhm.
and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh no, chop!" And I'm like, "What? What? What?" So that's that's how we heal people when they're sick. We beat them, and then when they catch us doing something that's literally sexual harassment, like he's unconscious, girl, and then you like let me just hit him. Futaba was wild this episode. She was wild.
she's a little feisty. That's all.
She was wild. You know,
You know how them
I kind
small
of
girls be.
listen. I
Small
kind of
anime
felt.
girls.
I'm not gonna lie. After this episode, I was like, you know what, Takeda, you need to stay away for just a little bit longer because she crazy. She
No,
crazy.
embrace her. Maybe he likes this.
Yeah, I think he does, and that is the sad part. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let's move on. Oh, that got me
Yeah,
so winded.
that rant aside,
I got me so
cooking
winded.
rant.
Oh, also, doesn't help the fact that I cleaned like my desk, which was so dusty.
Mhm.
And before I had like circulation to like circulate all the dust out, but I had to close everything for to like do the podcast. So, breathing's been fun, kind
Yay.
of. But anyways, before I eventually just run out of breath, let's move on to the next anime that we're watching, which according to what's on my chart or
Mhm.
my anychart.net is Takt op.Destiny.
That's
That's the
so
same thing.
weird because for
No?
me it's reversed. That was the one. That was the one you
Oh.
skipped from me.
Oh, okay. Got
It
you.
was. Oh, actually, you know what? I just didn't refresh the page. That's why. Wow, that's weird. That was a sudden switch in score, I guess. Anyway.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, after last week, I'm not surprised.
Was that a
Low
shot
key,
at
no
Takt
shade.
or?
Yes, it was.
Damn. Not feeling it. Not feeling this episode.
It's like on one hand, so much Lenny, which gives me life
There's a lot of
because
Titan too.
not Lenny and Titan. I honestly just like them more than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Um, yeah, but other than that, it kind of it's like, oh, it's gonna be looks like it's gonna look very kind of episodic, and
Yeah.
not in a super
Not in a good way.
outstanding cool way.
You know, it was a really great show that's super underrated. There was
Mm.
a really. It's not really old. It's like mid 2000s, I think, or late 2000s. Tegami Bachi, Letter B, where it was like this show about this male guy who just would. It was basically Violet Evergarden before Violet Evergarden, and a little bit
Mm.
less sad. But like all the episodes were episodic and were really touching and stuff. I feel like that is my standard. That and like Violet Evergarden, like my standards for how an episodic show should be. And maybe those standards are too high.
I mean, we only almost gave it a 10, if not giving it
Yeah,
a
I
10.
know. but talk like this was just the definition of generic episodic shit just to get to the action. Like I don't even remember the characters. It was some dude and his wife and then like some
Farm in Vegas.
farm, but they were in a Vegas casino and the dude was like did they even talk about like how he was like how was any of this connected? Like maybe I wasn't paying attention or like I lost interest somewhere through the middle, but I was like, oh yeah, how is this gambling mogul, this casino mogul involved with the plot?
So I think basically what's happening is a dude like who's like in charge of the city, the mayor. I think he was taking like the government money that was allocated to him
they said that, like, in
and
a
made it a
passing
casino.
line. It was like, oh yes, you stole the government. Like I felt like it was they tried to make it a bigger plot point than it was or something. It was just like a random like thing that just happened.
I mean, it was like it's not that hard to connect the dots.
I know, but it was just like it felt so empty. Like why even bother having this whole subplot about the mayor stealing from the city or whatever if it doesn't matter because they just got attacked by like they tried to make a subplot out of what happened in the episode when none of it mattered and it was just a race to fight the D2s.
Basically.
So I don't know, I kind of felt like, oh, there's just nothing until the fight happens. It's hard to explain, but it's like, yeah, the episode it was just the most generic stuff. But the fight itself and the characters are really good, which is what makes the episode not so bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I still got to see Titan being Titan and Lenny being Lenny and lots of cool action.
Yeah, the way those two single-handedly saved the episode. From being any more generic than it already was.
We didn't even have a lot of Cosette in this episode.
We didn't, because this is like Cosette. That's the one thing. Like this is Cosette before she becomes Cosette. I think like, this is like a past episode because
this is like the present time is they did a whatchamacallit.
This is all part of the flashback. Yeah,
flashback.
So I just want to get to the present.
I don't mind the flashback as long as they just make it interesting. The last week was interesting because they touched on like the actual central plot of what music arts are and like what happened to Cosette and all that stuff. This episode was just like a side quest. This was the side quest episode, basically. This was just a side quest that they were on. And it was kind of not interesting because they didn't bother to flesh out any of the side quest characters or the side quest plot.
Yeah, and it was just like, it made... I don't know, I feel like it was a weird way to like show Takt getting used to being like a conductor, fighting with his music art, because it's like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like training. It's just like, hey, we're fighting now, so go do this, and then he does it. Now do that. Now do that. Now go and be a conductor.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Like, and that was that.
I feel like they parodied themselves a bit because maybe I'm thinking too hard on it. But in the beginning of the episode, when Titan does all this crazy shit, and then Cosette comes up to her and is like, "How'd you do that?" And she's like, "Listen, blah 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 blah, boom boom kaboom."
I know. Yes. And then Cosette's just like, "Yes, got it, yeah."
Got it.
And then she starts to talk, and she's like, "Yeah, Takt, you gotta do all that."
And he literally does do all that. Nonsense just happens, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're good fighters now."
Basically,
it's like a self-parody.
Oh, one more thing before we move on. So, and this took me a second because I was listening to the ending because I was like on my phone or whatever, and I'm just like, wait a minute, there's only one woman with this voice that I recognize. So I looked it up, and just like I thought, the woman who does the ending for the song is none other than the Mika Nakashima.
Dun dun dun, Boa's rival.
I would nope, not even. Love her so much, so great, a very accomplished artist. Boa's rival, no.
She might beg to differ. But we'll see.
She can. It's a free country.
When is Boa doing another anime opening? When's the last anime opening she did? Was it Fairy Tail?
I think it was Fairy Tail.
She needs to get back on it. It's just Lisa's taking over the opening scene.
Boa is literally one of the chairs for SM Entertainment, which is the top K-pop industry. Like, do you think she, outside maybe releasing her own music, you think she got time to just leave her chair duties and just?
All I'm hearing is she's not as successful as Lisa. Did Boa do the Olympic whatever anthem?
Why would they have it a Korean do? A Korean do the Olympic?
So no. So your answer is no. Got it.
Why would they have a Korean person?
Just say no.
All right. You're just mad because they did correct. All right. Up next, we have Mieruko. Oh God, I hate that name.
I hate it so much too. Thank God it's not just me.
Mieruko.
It sounds Spanish.
It's a pretty name to look
Mieruko.
at, but it's so hard to say, and it also sounds like I'm cursing.
Yeah, it sounds like a Spanish curse word. If I anytime I say it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's why. Okay, damn. It really doesn't even think about that.
No, that's all you're gonna be able to think out every time you
see Mieruko-chan.
You're definitely gonna say my mistake like that.
I know. I wish I not to. I just had to say it for the one time.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so we finally meet the latest girl, Yulia.
I love Yulia.
Twin tails. Wow, shock.
I know it's a shocker, but I do like her.
I mean, I will say she is very cute.
I didn't expect her to be. I thought she was gonna be more bitchy, but she was actually really like adorable and like innocent and naive.
Agreed. Let's see. And I really do enjoy the fact that she just does find out that homegirl, Mieruko, that she's like, oh yeah, this girl can also see ghosts. So we can kind of just like skip ahead of that whole like, do I know? Do I not know? And she was like, yeah, and then but the confrontation. Oh,
the suspense! God. The show's so good at delivering suspense for a comedy.
It really, really is. And then it's like, and I love how the whole conversation has like layers. You're like, hey, can you see that? And it's like Mieruko needs to like not only pretend like she can't see that, but she also needs to pretend like she can't see that giant monster looming over both of them.
That was such a good scene because at first I was like, "What the fuck? Just admit you can like see some stuff.
You can see them and you'll be fine." But then she saw that giant thing.
Yeah,
and
it switches perspective, and you're like, "Oh, you're right. Yeah, nah, never mind." And it kind of like adds storytelling because now you're like, or world building because now you're like, okay, so Yuria can see some of them better than like she can see the small ones and stuff, but like the really powerful ones she struggles to see. So there's like layers to this psychic ability that people have.
Exactly, and she can see just enough where she, like more or less her life is not in danger.
And I think they did this really cool thing where it's like Yulia knew what attracted those small little goblin dudes, so she's like, listen, they're like humid places and shiny things. I spread like I wonder if they're gonna play on that more, like if there's like a ghost index or something where they know what attracts certain types of ghosts or how to trap certain types of ghosts or whatever, and they like ghost bust together.
I mean, I hope so. I just don't think that's gonna happen soon, if ever.
Yeah, probably.
Only because, you know, Mieruko literally had to save her by knocking her. I mean, I don't think she had to knock her out.
That was definitely an overreaction.
That was a reaction, but also very funny.
It's in the most aggressive way. Like he choked her out. Like that's
He's
so
like,
dangerous.
ha ha ha, you're so funny. I'm gonna use a joke to punish you. Ha 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 ha. Knock her out.
Like there was so many different ways to go about it. You could have just like grabbed her hand and like let her out of the room or like pulled her out. Nope. Choke it. Bad girls get dropped or whatever she said.
Right. I'm just like, okay, what? That was so funny.
Hana just showing up. I heard you choked out someone in class too.
Right? Yeah. Hey, you just beat up some random girl. Like that's true. It's like, ooh. But the second half was actually kind of sweet.
That was kind of touching.
I really am here for those scenes where, you know, she helps the ghost help people, or she puts the ghost to rest. You know.
I like that it switches back and forth between like, oh my god, suspense and horror, and like, oh, that's heartwarming, because it kind of like puts me on edge too. Because I was afraid of the ghost at first. I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen with this ghost?
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, you tricked me. It was a sweet ghost.
Exactly. A sweet ghost, and the lady just magically regained her sanity by putting the comb in her hair.
She
I'm
like
just like,
de-aged herself.
Really? She's just like, oh right, okay, I'm saying now. Yeah, let's go cook. As if she wasn't just wandering the streets. Like the way to be like, okay, yeah, mom. So before we cook, I have to have a talk.
Yeah.
Because you definitely just had a senior citizen moment and was walking around the streets
without your teeth.
Without your teeth in them. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that. Respectfully.
I wonder if there's gonna be like a ghost that like fucks with her and like pretends to be good or sweet and is actually evil or something.
Oh, not ghosts of like who are like super smart.
Yeah, like the ghost of light just shows up.
And then it's just an episode of them dramatically walking next to each other.
Yes, while he has his death note out and he's just asking for name. I'm looking for someone. Can you help?
Oh my, like
starts laughing like
like it actually starts, the music starts playing from Death Note, like, like instead of him saying something profound, he's just saying oh my, like, he just says the same word over and over, but he said it in the pretend like he's like talking or something. I don't know.
I like how we're adding a collab into this anime.
Oh, that'd be so silly. I'm here for it. Here for it indeed. But speaking of things that feel like Death Note, moving on to our last episode of the podcast, Platinum End episode 4.
I'm mixed on this episode too.
I'm not. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I just watched it so many times. It's just, I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's like I knew. ...
Like
it didn't catch me as surprise, even though I feel like it should have. You know what I mean? Like I want to be more invested in. First off, everyone got fucking Power Ranger suits. This needs to stop. Y'all need a different. One dude needs to be the Power Ranger. Everyone else has their own little fucking gimmick. All right. We don't need every god tenant to be a Power Ranger.
I mean, even though 2 of the Power Rangers were distraction fake Power Rangers.
But yeah, that doesn't explain why the other 2 had Power Ranger suits too.
Agreed. Mind you, they got, I don't know, they got pwned so easily. You know?
Yeah, I like the strategy element, like it when they were like, oh, we have to keep a certain distance from you because the arrow can't reach. Like again, it felt very Death Note-y, where it was like there's these arbitrary rules that we have to follow in a good way.
Yeah, but it was a shame because I don't know. It kind of makes you feel away when I already know how it happened. Like I already know the magic. You didn't even have to explain it to me. I You know, the moment I saw the whoosh appear, I was like, he's back. He's back. And I know this because for some reason, oh, sorry about that. For some reason, he could just fly at the speed of sound. Well, everyone could just normally fly. He's like, like he's like the Flash.
They kind of made that super obvious though. They were like, they panned the camera over there and everything. I'm like, you could have made it a little bit more. I'm not stupid, you know.
Exactly. Like if we're gonna show us the magic, then what's the point of us being surprised?
Mm-hmm. Played your hands a little too open there. And the trick, I guess the twist was fine, like the other two being fakes and they had or like been paid off. That was actually a good scene. I like it. He's like, there's other ways to control people. Money. Like, that was pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, and I already like, I mean, I kind of actually I had my Death Note thinking cap on, and I was like, the fact that they're not like doing anything or showing their powers, it's like this giving these are just humans who are fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving that.
My whole thing was, I felt like the setup and payoff was too quick. Like Death Note was good because it would have these really, really long and intricate setups where it was like,
Yeah,
some shit would start happening and it wouldn't pay off until like 6 episodes later, where L would be like, remember 6 episodes ago when you were fucking eating a potato chip? Well, I was secretly watching you, and the same way you ate the potato chip was the same way you wrote the notebook. Blah, blah. So, like some crazy shit like that. This episode was just like, we want to do something really quick, so we're gonna just a bunch of stuff just happened, and I felt like, so it kind of felt like a cheap trick, kind of. So I'm like, it didn't feel like, wow, that was super clever and smart. It just kind of felt like, oh, these guys were just really stupid.
yeah. Like, I mean, you were kind of smart, but they let their guard down like super. First of all, yeah, no, these guys were just dumb. Yeah, because like they started something. They're like, anyone who wants to join it. The moment they took that L, and speaking of taking the L's, that stupid girl who was like, "Oh my god, I only have wings. Please help me."
She's so dumb. I feel like that's a plant. I don't know. Like, well, I guess not. He's gonna kill her probably. Yeah, also, if he kills her, I'm dropping. I did not sign up for Loli's dying. All right.
Oh, she's gonna die, but but I don't think he's gonna kill her next episode.
Oh, torture her slowly.
Yeah, because old boy Mirai is gonna be like, I gotta save her, believe it.
Oh, she's gonna die like accidentally. Watch, he's gonna block the arrow or some shit's gonna happen, and she's gonna like, I'm gonna escape, and then some other fucking guys are gonna pop out of nowhere and kill her. I'm another god candidate. Blah, just kills her or something.
Basically. But yeah, why were they asking? Oh, everyone else wants to join us to take down. Y'all should have did. So the moment your plan failed, you should have dipped.
Yeah, why are you still there? Like,
why are you still there? Putting on a whole charade. Leave. You are another day. Yes, you like homeboy is clearly in charge of the whole situation. As long as you stay in that stupid stadium, like he was so. Oh my god, they were so dumb. I mean, it's gonna be so shady. But to be fair, these are people who failed to get to college multiple times. So.
Listen, I was gonna make that joke like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I'll wait for Drew.
Damn, now you're for me to be the bitch.
I was literally about to say, no wonder they failed their exam.
Yeah, bitch. I mean, God, maybe instead of going around doing all this, maybe you should have just, I don't know, third time the charm. But I guess we'll never know.
Also, I feel like a lot of people are dying really quickly. This show's like, it's 24 episodes.
I mean, only 3 of them are dead.
How many gun cannons? Oh, wait, like 13?
Shit, no, there's only like 11.
11?
Damn, that is no.
Yeah,
right,
they're dying quickly.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
Because the little girl dies, that's 4 dead.
Well, I'm sure they'll find a way to stretch it or
Yeah, I
what
kind of wish
have
they
you.
did take the future route diary and gave everyone like a really interesting arc or something, you know,
Or
or
power.
power or gimmick or something.
Yeah. 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 I'm just like I'm a little, I don't know. I feel like next episode is gonna be kind of more of things that I predict that were going to happen. TM.
Yeah, I feel like this show's not bad per se, but it's very
Predictable.
predictable and underwhelming compared to its like pedigree of who wrote it. So I feel like if I just separate that, like if I,
Wait, this is the same. This same dude did Death Note.
yeah,
Oh man! Every time you remind me, it is like, this is literally like the third or fourth time you reminded me that.
yeah, I know, and that's the problem.
Exactly, because it doesn't feel like it at all.
Exactly,
It really doesn't. Mm-mm-mm.
So yeah, if you remove that and just pretend it's another anime and like lower your standards, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll give you that. When they keep the action up.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, we're done with the weekly reviews, and I think this episode's gone on long enough, so we're not going to have a filler arc today. So only if you be so kind, take us away.
Guys, if you
Bars.
enjoyed this episode of the G&A podcast, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can catch every episode as it goes up every week. If you haven't already, do follow us over on Twitch, follow us on Discord, and join the party on our Twitter. I said that in the wrong order, but that's okay. If you'd like, you can even become a member or a patron like all these people on the screen right now who make the show possible and who also receive a bunch of cool benefits. So if that sounds interesting to you, please do join. Drew, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Hope y'all had a fun and safe Halloween. If you haven't, check out the VOD of Oni struggling through Alien, where he struggled so hard. The most terrifying thing was his ability to play the game in general.
Fuck that game. Until next time, this has been Sobroni and
Drooby Doo.
Catch y'all later. Later.
Bye.